I'm Carrie Ann Stout, founder and CEO of Vinco Bar Exam Coaching. In this video, I'm going to answer the very frequently asked question these days of when should I start studying for the bar exam? At this point, you have likely heard that the July bar exam has been canceled in states such as New York, Massachusetts, and Connecticut, and others, and is being postponed to the fall. Now, the last time I did a video about this, they hadn't set any dates for the fall. But as of the filming of this video, the National Conference of Bar Examiners has said they will make two fall administrations available. The first is September 9th and 10th, and the second is September 30th and October 1st. So we don't yet know what date jurisdictions are going to pick, but they have two different options. So theoretically, Massachusetts and New York could have fall bar exams on different dates. Now, only at this point, 4 or 5 jurisdictions have actually canceled or postponed the July bar exam. And so that leaves, math isn't really my thing, but that leaves like 45, 46 other jurisdictions that are still planning to go forward with the July bar exam. Now, whether that will actually happen or not, we don't know because the National Conference of Bar Examiners is still evaluating whether they're going to even have the MBE, which is in 49 jurisdictions, right? Whether the MBE or 49 states, rather, is going to be available in July. But as it stands right now, I'm filming this video on Sunday. What's today's date? Sunday, April 5th. And it's coming to you on Monday, April 6th. So as of right now, there is still in 2020 a July bar exam and then two in September, October. So what does that mean for you and when you should start studying? I'm going to give you my best advice on that as of right now, subject to change. Let's start with if you are in a jurisdiction that is still planning to offer the July bar exam, because that's the easiest question to answer right now. If your jurisdiction has not changed, then you should be planning to start studying for the bar exam as soon as you are done with finals, right? You're on this traditional track, which means you finish, you graduate. I know nobody's actually having a graduation right now. And then immediately after you start studying for the bar. That's what you would do right now if your test is still going on in July. And you should operate as if your test is still happening until the Board of Law Examiners in your jurisdiction tells you otherwise. So as of right now, you should be preparing to start studying for the bar exam right after you are done with your final exams. Now let's talk about when you should start studying if the test is that September 9th and September 10th date. Things start to get a little more complicated now because students may be starting to work at this point. So now we may have different factors to consider. If you are going to not be working while you're studying for the bar exam and it's in early September, and you're going to be on that more traditional study plan, that would put you starting to study in mid-June, right? So I'm just extrapolating the dates and the timeline that students have when they're studying for the July test. So that would put you at starting mid-June with your heavy lifting studying. Of course, there are some things that you can do to prepare and keep things top of mind and get organized, but you also don't want to burn out. So that would put you in that 2.5 month time range if you started in mid-June. Now, if you are going to have to start working and you're not sure if you're going to be able to take time off or how much time you're going to be able to take off, that changes the equation and you'll want to get started earlier because you're going to be studying fewer hours a day over a longer period of time, right? And just exactly how early you start depends on how much time that you'll have to dedicate to this week after week. So the rule of thumb really is the less time that you have to dedicate to bar prep, the earlier you need to get started. So if you're going to be working, then you may start studying on the same timeline as someone who's taking it in July, but you'll just be studying part-time May, June, July, August, as opposed to going full-time from mid-June through September. Okay, and finally, if you're taking the bar at the very end of September into the beginning of October, that September 30th, October 1st date, again, adjusting that timeline, that puts you starting in mid-July if you're going to be just studying, not working, um, and studying full time in that time frame. Again, if you have to start working, you need to adjust that, and you'll probably be starting earlier and studying more on a part-time basis. Okay, this is all totally unprecedented, and anyone who tells you that they know exactly what you should be doing in this situation is probably not telling you the truth. All I'm doing in this video and every video where I'm talking about all these changes is trying to relay the information that I have from the reliable sources. And to me, reliable sources mean the National Conference of Bar Examiners and information that I can find on the websites from the Board of Law Examiners in the different jurisdictions. Based on that, we have these three tests, and students rightfully are very worried and concerned about when they can start studying. You're probably worried too. So hopefully you can use this framework to take a little bit more control out of a situation that's very out of your control, and start giving yourself a time frame, and some idea about what your spring, summer, fall is going to look like based on these dates. I understand a lot of this is still up in the air. We're not sure, whether New York is going to pick the early date or the later date, or if they're going to be able to pick any of those dates. Again, we have a real serious developing situation here in New York, where I happen to live as well. Uh, but we have a little more certainty than we did last week, which was there'll be a fall bar exam. Now we have some dates. That's concrete information, and you can use, these um, time frames that I've given you to start to think about how that's going to impact your working, how that's going to impact, moving. A lot of people plan to stay in their apartments through the summer and move after the bar exam. That could throw a little bit of a kink in your plans. So having some of these time frames can allow you to maybe start making some decisions, and again, just allow you to have some more information and take back a little bit more control. This is all really hard. There's nothing about nothing about this that is easy, and I continue to have nothing but empathy for my graduating 3Ls who are going through this. But use this information, make a plan, but don't get too attached to it. Know that we might have to update it and adjust it as we go, and also know that I'm going to come back with any new information I have and share with you how I think that impacts you and what I think you need to be doing based on that information. So I will see you next time.